Welcome to Talk Across America. I'm Doug Miles, and we're here in beautiful Sarasota, Florida. And joining us now on our Book Talk segment, great to welcome a woman who's written a very helpful book, good time of the year to read it. It's called Soulful Simplicity, How Living with Less Can Lead to So Much More. We're joined today by Courtney Carver, and you know her work from her very successful blog called Be More with Less, and she joined us by telephone today. And Courtney, good to talk with you. How are you?
Hi, good morning. Happy New Year.
Yeah, you too. Happy New Year as well. And as I said, this time of year, everybody kind of looks at their lives, I guess, right? Resolutions and trying to make their life hopefully better, but simpler as well. So it's a good time to be thinking about that kind of thing. But there's also more of a serious end to it. A lot of people are kind of living beyond their means. You talk about that in the book as well, and kind of running around frantic, right?
Definitely. I know from my own experience and from the people that I've connected with over the years that we are all just running at an unsustainable pace, just more and more and more, whether it be stuff or busyness or work or obligations. It's like we can never have enough, but at some point, all that more becomes just a crushing weight.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, you part of the reason you put this blog together, you went through some health issues in your own life, so that kind of was the impetus, I guess, a little bit of it, because you don't know what's going to happen. So you said, well, let me simplify my life, right?
Definitely. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2006.
Right.
And I know the stress of my life really contributed to the exacerbations and the symptoms that I was experiencing. So I decided to eliminate as much stress as possible, not just because of the uncertainty of the disease, but because I really wanted to start living well. And I hadn't been doing that for a long time. I was kind of living on autopilot, like just go, 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 and do all the things I think I'm supposed to do and hope that everything turns out in the end.
Was that what led to you to doing the blog at first, back in, I guess, 2010, right? Is that when you started that?
It was, yeah. I started the blog to share some of the changes that I was making in my life and some of the simplicity or the ways that simplicity was benefiting my health and my relationships, and also to connect with other people who felt overwhelmed and like maybe they wanted a change too.
Yeah, minimalism, I guess I should say, is the kind of the topic of it, minimalizing things in your life. What was the first thing you decided to do back in 2006, but then when you started writing the blog, was there one thing that you started with that said, I'm going to just get rid of this out of my life?
Well, yeah, shortly after my MS diagnosis, I really simplified my diet and eliminated most animal protein from my diet, which is not a recommendation. I'm not a doctor, but it was what really worked well for me. And then the next most stressful thing that I started to work on and was still working on when I started the blog was eliminating my debt. And then shortly after that, it was clutter. And then I was looking at just what was stressful in my life. My house was stressful, taking care of a huge house. It was stressful to do work that I wasn't really enjoying. So it was really an amazing snowball effect. Like each change seemed to motivate and inspire the next change.
Yeah, you talk about in the book, know your wake-up call. And obviously that kind of diagnosis for anybody would be a wake-up call. So that was yours, obviously, right, back in 2006.
That was mine, but interestingly enough, I think I had gotten hundreds of others that I dismissed or didn't hear or didn't pay attention to, and so they just built up and built up, which is why I always encourage people to really start listening to their inner voice, because when you hear yourself saying things like, something's not right, or this isn't working for me, that's your wake-up call calling. It doesn't have to be this monumental event. It could be as something as quiet as your inner voice.
And you say also vocalize it and write it down. That seems to be the key to using that wake-up call to take action, right? Write it down.
Definitely. And know why. And that will give you just such great leverage when you're ready to make a change, because you'll know why you want to make it.
I like one of the things you did there. Do things you don't want to do. I think that's a good advice. Not easy to do that, but I think that kind of puts you on the right track. I've tried to do that in my own life, but that's a good first step.
Yeah, we have to do the stuff we don't want to do so we can do the things we want to do. I mean, who really wants to eat healthier and exercise or spend years paying down debt and decluttering? It's not always fun stuff, but if we know what it's leading to, we can enjoy it more.
You mentioned decluttering. I think so many people have that not only maybe in their house, but with emails and phone calls and all that kind of stuff. You just get loaded up with that, and people, like you said, get stressed just with that alone, right? Not necessarily just the job, but just all the answering phone calls and more likely texts and emails that just drive you nuts.
Yeah. There's so many little things, and they seem small enough, like it's only going to take me a second to respond, but then it takes longer. And so I think it's really important to batch those activities. So, for instance, I took email off my phone completely because it was just so overwhelming to, I would check it during the day when I really wasn't prepared to answer it, but I would be thinking about it. And so now I just check it a couple of times a day when I'm by my computer. But the same could be said for phone calls and text messages. You could set a time during the day, except for, close family or something that you needed to respond to immediately. Most of the stuff doesn't need our immediate attention. And so we can kind of batch those activities. But even better, whatever you can eliminate.
Yeah. I guess the one that I really thought was the most poignant one you have in the book. Explain it if you would. Put your hands on your heart. I like that one.
Yeah, this is a way to start trusting yourself, listening to that inner voice that we were talking about, and really making time for yourself. And so one way to do that in a very intentional way is to take a few minutes every single day and sit quietly and put your hands over your heart and just take a few deep breaths and remind yourself that you're there and you're connected. And I think that's all it takes in the very beginning. That's enough. Just some consistent making time for that. And then you can grow that heart practice into something more where you're asking questions of yourself. It helps us to, again, remember who we are and to really grow in ways that we may not have considered because we didn't trust ourselves.
Right.
So, yeah, hands on the heart. I think it's really important.
I think that's a great idea. Great advice in the book, again, called Soulful Simplicity, How Living with Less Can Lead to So Much More. We've been talking with Courtney Carver today. She's the creator of BeMoreWithLess.com. And Courtney, do you have a website, or is that the one people get more information about the book?
Yes, BeMoreWithLess.com.
You get the book there. Of course, we'll put a link on our website as well. And you sound like you're doing well, so that's good news. I imagine this journey you've taken minimalizing has helped your health situation. It sounds like it has.
It definitely has. I haven't had a relapse since 2007. I'm very healthy.
Great. Well, Courtney, pleasure talking to you. Hopefully we can do it again. Thanks for being with us.
Happy New Year.
Thank you for joining us today on Talk Across America. Please visit our website at dougmilesmedia.com for more great interviews and content. And if you're interested in any of the books we talk about on the program, please click the Amazon link on our website. It helps support the podcast. Thanks for listening. We'll see you again real soon here from beautiful Sarasota, Florida.
I'm Stan Brock. 30 years ago, I formed Remote Area Medical to help people overseas. But then we found generations of families in America isolated by poverty from the health care they need. Together, we can take dental, vision, and medical help to 1 million adults and their kids, right here at home in the United States of America.